Tonight on CTV News at 11:30, Jays fever heats up for the World Series.
We did not anticipate that when we scheduled our day, but it's very interesting and fun.
Canadians get behind their team. Plus, a problematic area in Timmins.
I've decided to take it on myself and put the work in and put the time in.
One councillor makes it his mission to close a concerning laneway. And more earth shaking.
Oftentimes the distribution of these felt reports will depend on the geology on which people are situated.
A second seismic event rumbles under Sudbury.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Ian is off. All eyes were on the World Series tonight as the Toronto Blue Jays squared off against baseball's biggest powerhouse and defending champions, the Los Angeles Dodgers, in Game 1.
And a high drive to deep right center field. It is gone!
This grand slam sent the stadium into a frenzy as the Blue Jays busted open the game. Addison Barger hitting it out of the park in his first World Series at bat and catapulted the team to an 11-4 win. Game 2 goes tomorrow in Toronto. What a way to start. With this being the Jays' first time in the championship in 32 years, many Northerners changed their plans tonight just to watch the game. CTV's Madison Marier has more.
Ashley Malley and Jason Ostapik have been planning their wedding, but what they didn't expect was that their favorite team would make it to the final round of playoffs during their ceremony.
Well, obviously the day is super exciting to begin with, so anything that adds to that excitement, we more than welcome it. So
Go Jays!
Yeah, go Jays.
The couple is now planning on bringing the Jays into the wedding.
I mean, we did not anticipate that when we scheduled our day, but it's very interesting and fun. Initially, they were scheduled for 1 p.m. to start, so we were talking with our officiant on how to get updates on the Jays game while we're getting married.
But the happy couple isn't the only ones accommodating the big game. The Sioux Greyhounds and the Sudbury Wolves are changing their game times from 7 p.m. to 6 p.m. to allow fans to support both their favorite teams back to back.
If you show your ticket, you're entered to win a pair of tickets to the World Series tomorrow. So all you have to do is have your ticket, of course, visit guest services, they'll give you a ballot.
The Arts are also showing support for the Canadian team. Yes Theatre's Wicked Gala will be hoping the Jays hitters defy gravity tonight.
So the theater world and the sports world will be meeting tonight. So as people are here enjoying the Yellow Brick Road and the Wicked themed food and drinks and music, we're also going to have the Jays on in a couple different spaces throughout the theater.
Regardless of the months-long planning, many people are adjusting and adding the Toronto Blue Jays into their plans. And for the diehard fans, Strictly Nostalgia has the seats to take your home screening to the next level. Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
To other news now, a North Bay driver is facing 17 criminal charges after the 38-year-old man fled from police. OPP officers tried to pull a vehicle over on Highway 17 Wednesday afternoon as part of an ongoing investigation, but the driver didn't stop, striking a stopped cruiser in the process. The vehicle was later reported driving dangerously in a parking lot off Highway 11 before police found it on Tomiko Lake Road with heavy damage. The search by police found drugs, illegal weapons, and cash. The 38-year-old faces 17 weapons, trafficking, and dangerous driving charges. A Brampton man was back in court today as sentencing began in the case where a student hit a North Bay police officer with a stolen vehicle. Sahibjot Singh pled guilty in August to assault of a peace officer, impaired driving and flight from police. The charges stem from May of last year after the 21-year-old struck a police officer with a car. Singh had previously admitted to being under the influence of illicit drugs when he stole a vehicle. It was used to strike Police Sergeant Justin Breer pinning the officer between the SUV and another vehicle. The Crown wants a 5-year sentence, less time served, while Singh's lawyer argues he should receive an enhanced credit for time served and be sentenced to only time served. Singh is in Canada on a student visa from India and was studying at Canadore College. He cannot get into the immigration system until his charges are dealt with, and while serving a sentence, he cannot be deported. The judge will hand her sentence over November the 6th. A Timmins city councillor is garnering support for the closure of a downtown laneway. Corey Robbins says recent behaviors in the laneway are causing concerns, and he's urging everyone to make their voices heard. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
So that means that this winter, Councillor Corey Robbins says it's time to close up this laneway in the downtown. This stretch runs east and west between Pine Street South and Spruce Street South, parallel to 3rd Avenue. While he says police and outreach workers are doing their best to check up on this area, he says some people are causing problems.
What's left is a small group of people that are causing mischief and setting fires and harassing people that are coming through, and just general things that weren't occurring earlier this year. People are making campfires in this laneway. We've discovered that over the last few weeks, as well as there was a fire in the building behind me where they set a fire right behind the back door and burned a portion of the building.
Robin says he's asked the city if the laneway can be closed, and he says he's been told yes, it can, but council would have to vote on it. The city's community programs manager told CTV News it would be inappropriate to comment on the proposal before the matter is discussed by council.
In order for it to be closed, the council has to pass a resolution.
And Robin says community involvement is key to ensure the initiative is a success and welcomes all letters of support.
I've decided to take it on myself and put the work in and put the time in and reach out to the community for support, which I'm getting, to close it.
Robin says he'll deliver a presentation at the November 11th meeting. If the resolution is passed, Robin says it's unlikely barriers would go up before spring. And if this area is closed off, Robin says it's an opportunity to explore options for enhancing the space. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Just days after a mining-related rock burst at Creighton Mine in Sudbury was felt across much of the city, a slightly bigger one shook the area again. According to Earthquakes Canada, the 3.5 magnitude seismic event hit the area at 11:20 a.m. and again it came from the area of Creighton Mine. That compares to the 2.9 magnitude quake that was felt on October the 19th. Valley officials say Creighton Mine experienced a seismic event measuring 3.97 in magnitude. All employees are safe and accounted for, and all established protocols were followed. Members of the public with questions are encouraged to contact Valley's Community Concerns line. According to social media, residents from Walden to New Sudbury to the South End to the Valley and elsewhere felt the quake. Residents are encouraged to submit a "Did you feel it?" report on the Earthquakes Canada website.
Oftentimes the distribution of these felt reports will depend on the geology on which people are situated. So if you have sediments, you'll often have higher amplification and of seismic energy in those regions, which causes people to report a higher level of shaking. And then within 100 meters or so, you may have someone on bedrock where the shaking may be much less. And so you may have quite a difference in these felt reports. And this all ties into our seismic hazard models, which we use to inform the building code.
Officials say this is the second largest event in recent history, with the largest being a magnitude of 4.1 that occurred in 2006. And speaking of weather, now time for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Lindsay will have your full weather forecast, and right now we're going to take a look at the current conditions. So a chance of showers or flurries for the upper part of our region, Kapuskasing, Timmins and Chapleau, 6 for Elliott Lake and Gore Bay, 0 in Sudbury, 1 in North Bay. We'll be back in a moment.
Welcome back. Well, it's certainly been a cool cool and cloudy day across much of northeastern Ontario, and we're expecting to see some cooler temperatures over the next couple of days, but we're also going to welcome back some sunshine. Taking a look outside right now, as you can see, still quite a bit of cloud cover across the northeast. There is a little bit of precipitation lingering around many communities. Could see a little bit of sleet activity as we head into tomorrow, but it will be quite short-lived. As you can see, the bulk of the cloud cover leaves the region by Saturday evening, and even more so as we head into the day on Sunday. So get out, enjoy that sunshine if you can, but you may have to bundle up. Let's take a closer look at the next 7 days, beginning with Sudbury Nickel Belt. For tomorrow, cloud cover, a high of 6 degrees. When you wake up in the morning, that wind chill sitting at around -5. So certainly put on that thick jacket if you're heading out. Heading into Sunday, we're going to see some gorgeous sunshine, and it's going to be sticking around for at least a couple of days. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma now. We're seeing lots of sunshine the next 7 days and sitting around that seasonal mark. This time of year sitting around between a daytime high of 7-8 degrees. And as you can see for Sunday, certainly sitting a bit above seasonal at 11 degrees for your daytime high. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, 30% chance of sleet tomorrow, that mixing of rain and snowfall, heading up to a high of 3 degrees. We certainly see that temperature warm up quite a bit as we head into Sunday, a high of 7 degrees expected as the sunshine starts the week off with a bang and a high of 8 degrees. Timiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, 30% chance of sleet for your Saturday, a high of 3 degrees. Sunshine takes over the forecast on Sunday, but as you can see, quite chilly overnight, sitting at -7 overnight on Sunday. Moving on finally to North Bay, West Nipissing. 30% chance of some flurry activity on your Saturday, a high of 6 degrees. Sunshine takes over on Sunday and will be sticking around until about the middle of the work week. And as you can see, sitting around seasonal in terms of temperatures as well. That is a look at your 7-day forecast. Angela, it's back over to you.
Thanks so much, Lindsay. The federal government is helping companies showcase their products at the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair next month in Toronto. CTV's Alana Everson has the details.
The federal government announcing it's investing over $780,000 to help 47 agri-food businesses be exhibitors at the Northern Ontario Agri-Food Pavilion at the Royal from November 7th to 16th.
In Northern Ontario, agriculture is important. Direct and indirect jobs equal about 6,000 people that are involved. And every year we keep on adding agricultural land here in the north with new crops as the climate extends and longer growing hours.
FedNor has been funding the pavilion for over 22 years, and it's grown to over 7,000 square feet.
And I think the biggest number for me is over the past 10 years, the businesses that have attended have sales in excess of $10 million. And I think that's a significant highlight because they wouldn't have access to those markets here in Northern Ontario.
Isabel Spence-Legault operates a horticultural farm in Cache Bay. She produces herbal teas and showcased her products in 2023 at the Northern Ontario Agri-Food Pavilion.
So there's a lot of camaraderie amongst the exhibitors. A potential for cross-collaboration starts happening after you're there for 10 days intensively sharing this experience. It really does provide some of those linkages that are important for long-term growth.
Spence-Legault says the opportunity opened new doors for her business.
One of the biggest things is the potential for finding distribution networks. When I was there, I was approached by a local grocer, or rather a national grocer, and they offered to have my products available in 12 of their stores. And that wouldn't have been an opportunity I would have had access to had I just stayed in Northern Ontario.
Officials with FedNor say the Royal Agriculture Winter Fair attracts close to 300,000 people to experience the country in the city. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sturgeon Falls.
It was supposed to speak to Americans, an ad showing them the value of their neighbors to the north. Well, overnight, the $75 million ad campaign launched by Ontario caught the attention of one American in particular, Donald Trump, who says trade talks with Canada are over. CTV's Siobhan Morris has that story.
When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports.
The Premier revealed in a speech earlier this month the ad was his idea.
Let's take Ronald Reagan's words and let's blast it to the American people.
Words from a 1987 radio address about trade tensions at the time between the U.S. and Japan. Ontario's ad used the broader takeaway.
Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs.
By Tuesday,
I heard that the president heard our ad.
Then late on Thursday night, an online missive from Donald Trump terminating trade talks between the U.S. and Canada, alleging interference with upcoming court decisions on tariffs, calling the ad a fake. Ronald Reagan's foundation said the ad hadn't been cleared by them and the former president's position had been mischaracterized. Doug Ford had been heralding Reagan's message along the prime minister just yesterday.
Protectionism does not work.
Today, Mark Carney emphasizes there's been progress with U.S. trade officials on steel, aluminum, and energy.
We stand ready to pick up on that progress and build on that progress when the Americans are ready.
Carney didn't answer questions about whether the ad should be pulled. While at 8 a.m., Ford was showing no signs of backing off. By 2:30, he issued a statement saying his goal was always to start a conversation, writing, "We've achieved our goal, having reached U.S. audiences at the highest level." The ads will run during the World Series with lots of eyes watching this weekend. But in speaking with Prime Minister Carney, Ontario will pause its U.S. advertising campaign effective Monday so that trade talks can resume. A big part of the criticism of the ad in Ontario has been of the $75 million price tag. The ad was supposed to be on the air until the end of January. With it being pulled early, there is some hope there will be flexibility with U.S. networks to bring the cost down. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Despite a period of uncertainty this year, Wordstock's Sudbury Literary Festival is now underway. The two-day event brings together lovers of words, authors, and poets. Organizers say this is a chance for readers and writers to meet authors, exchange ideas, and engage in conversations.
Yeah, well, we have so many brilliant writers and poets here in town and who have the connections of their own, and with, again, the great work of our festival planning committee, who are a lot of them writers themselves, we were able to sort of, you know, bridge all these connections that are across the country and create our group of individuals who are joining us this weekend.
The event wraps up tomorrow night at 7:30. Still ahead tonight on CTV News. Pulling out the brooms and rocks in Sault Ste. Marie as the city hosts an annual Fall Classic.
Hockey This Week is brought to you by Rastall Nut and Bolt Company. Welcome back to Hockey This Week. We have a special guest in Graham McWaters from Richmond Hill. He's involved with the Indigenous Hockey Equipment Drive as the founder and chief coordinator. Graham, thanks for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you for having me.
Okay, you were in Sudbury recently, very successful from what we can see from the numerous pictures and the video. You're progressing really well after 10 or so years.
Yeah, we've been doing this now since 2014. And since inception, we've delivered over 6,000 hockey bags and over 10,000 sticks to 71 Indigenous communities across Canada.
Okay, so who's donating and where is the gear going to?
So the gear is donated by local hockey families. We travel all across Ontario to pick it up, mostly in the Greater Toronto area. So we'll do a hockey drive for 6 hours at a hockey rink with a hockey association or a hockey team. We gather the bags, we sort them, tag them, bag them, put them in our warehouse. And then about 3-4 times a year, we distribute the gear to Indigenous communities in Ontario. But over the last couple of years, we've expanded to the Northwest Territories, to Manitoba, and to Quebec.
That's quite the task. Where is the gear going here in Northeastern Ontario?
Well, we just made a trip up on the weekend to Sudbury, and we gave the gear to Sagamok, Wanapitei, and some people came in from Timmins so they could deliver it to Attawapiskat, Fort Albany, and we also have some people that are coming to Barrie in a couple weeks that missed Sudbury from Thessalon and from Wiki. So there's quite a few people from your neck of the woods up in Northern Ontario, Sudbury area. We've delivered to Whitefish before. We've delivered to Little Current. So there's quite a few. Garden River. It's a lot of people in the north of Sudbury and the west of Sudbury get hockey gear from us every year.
Okay, so what's the response been from the recipients?
Wow, the response is overwhelming. We get comments that blew us away, that actually brought a tear to our eyes. We've had people say to us, not only are you changing lives, but you're saving lives. The one community up at Tagamu that was in this weekend, they drove for 5.5 hours, 6 hours to come and get the gear. They told us a couple of years ago that the suicide rate has been reduced in their community since the children have started playing hockey.
Hockey is a great game, and without people like you, Graham, at least leading the effort, really, it's a significant contribution to various communities, not only here in northeastern Ontario, but you're spreading west. Best of luck. Thank you for doing this. Please keep us posted about your future endeavors down the road. And if we can help here in northeastern Ontario in gathering gear, you know we'll be right behind that effort.
Thank you very much for having us. Take care.
Graham McWater is my guest, of course. He leads the Indigenous Hockey Equipment Drive. We're back with more hockey this week in 7 days.
A couple of Northern OHL teams were in action tonight. In the Sioux, the Greyhounds lost 4-3 to the visiting Peterborough Petes at GFL Memorial Gardens. And an early start time helped the Wolves gain a 5-3 victory over the Barrie Colts in Sudbury. 5 Northern teams were in action tonight in the NOJHL. The Sudbury Cubs stomped the Voodoos 7-2 in Powassan, while the French River Rapids took a 6-2 win over the Gold Miners in Kirkland Lake. And in the battle on the border, the Sioux Thunderbirds beat out the Sioux Eagles 8-5. Sault Ste. Marie's premier curling event is now underway and is expected to draw plenty of eyes and dollars to the city. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has more from the 3rd annual Henderson Medal Fall Classic.
The 3rd annual Henderson Medal Fall Classic is in full swing in Sault Ste. Marie. The event saw considerable growth last year, but changes to the international curling schedule brought on by the upcoming Olympics has limited the draw. Just 18 teams are on ice this year compared to 28 in the previous edition. It's having an impact on ticket sales for full event passes, but single draws are still selling.
We did anticipate a smaller crowd turnout this year because of the smaller field size, but we've actually had quite a few people just coming one draw at a time. So the crowds have been probably bigger than we expected, but smaller than last year.
Regardless of the down year, the Sioux Fall Classic has become a consistent boost to the city's sport tourism sector. Tourism officials say the event brings in roughly $175,000 new dollars to the city each year.
Last year, we had about 4,000 people attend the event, and over 40% of them were traveled from out of town. So there's a significant economic impact to our city.
It puts us on a national stage, which is wonderful. People can realize that Sault Ste. Marie is a destination for people to come, not only to visit for recreation, but to host sporting events. And we're really making an effort to try and become known as being in a sports hub.
11 of the 18 teams came from out of the province for this year's event. Included is last year's runners-up from Switzerland, who, among many things, enjoy the opportunity to see the nature that Canada has in abundance.
The event obviously was amazing. We like that there are people inside the rings or the ice. Also, of course, prize money, points is cool. And also the zoo with the lake and the river, we loved it.
Despite a smaller field, the Fall Classic still saw 4 of the top 10 teams in the world. The event runs until Sunday afternoon. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
And finally, the Symphony Orchestra will be celebrating tomorrow. The orchestra has a show planned for tomorrow night, but it will now feature special guests from the Ontario Arts Council. The group will receive the Vita Penne Orchestra Award, which comes with a $5,000 check. The award is honoring the symphony's artistic and organizational achievements. The concert is tomorrow at 2 p.m. at the Machine Shop. And that takes us to the end of our newscast this Friday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. You can also download our CTV News app. Thanks for watching. Good night.